Welcome back, guys. In this video, we're looking at M-code. M-code is that language that Power Query uses to clean, organize, and transform your data behind the scene. Just think of M-code as that engine that makes every buttons and actions you perform on Power Query to work out. For example, let's say you want to remove duplicates, or you want to promote headers, or you want to merge columns or split them. The moment you decide to do that, M-code automatically writes down the instructions at the background before those transformations come to play. So every transformation you perform, every actions you perform in Power Query is being recorded by M-code. So you don't need M-code to use Power Query actually, but learning it gives you an edge. It gives you control over your transformation. So in this video, I'll be showing you what M-code is and how you can use it. Don't forget, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
M-code is like a language behind the scenes of Power Query. So whenever you create a data transformation in Power Query user interface, Excel is automatically writing the corresponding M-code for that query. You are just dragging and dropping, you're just clicking the buttons. But those things you are doing, those transformations you are doing by just clicking those buttons are being, coded somewhere. They are being written as codes somewhere in Power Query. Now let's look at this detail here. The one we use, we created this dim calendar table from this staging orders. We added other columns after extracting just the dates alone from staging orders. So going back to the dim calendar now, we have all these steps. You inserted year, inserted month. These are steps you did, right? Let's check this still in our home type. In the query group, you see advanced editor. So click on this advanced editor. Then you now see. Can you see all these codes here? Now this is how it works. This is M-code. Although you just clicked the buttons here, but they are being recorded as codes in the advanced query editor of Microsoft Excel. So you can see it's saying the source of the data that we use in creating this dim calendar is staging order. It's always starting from the source, staging orders. Then what next did you do after you've gotten the data from staging orders? What you did was you remove other columns. You removed other columns from the source. Once you've done that, okay, what next did you do? You added the year. So you can see it's saying inserted year. What did you do? Table add column. What's the table add column? You added a column to this. It always refers to the previous step. This is the previous step here. You can see it here again. So it's saying that you added to the previous step. You added a new column called year. So same thing, you can see you added month to the previous data. Same thing down to the last point where you removed the duplicate before your dimension table became ready for use. So this is just M-code, what M-code looks like. So M-code has some functions that can be used for data transformation inside of Power Query. You can also use your M-code to create a table. So I'll show us how to do that now. Let's just close this. So to do that, I want to create a new table using M-code. All I have to do is just come here to my new source here, and I scroll down to other sources and I'll click on blank query. So I have this blank query now. I'll just come here and click on advanced editor. So what do I want to do? I want to create a new table. So I'm showing you how to create a new table. All I have to do is just give it hash table. Then I'll open my parentheses like this. I've opened my parentheses. Then I'll use my curly bracket this way. Let me just bring this down. Curly bracket this way. So I want to create a table that contains order ID. It contains customer ID. It contains customer ID. It contains product ID. Then comma, what else does it contain? It contains, let me give it Let me give it category. So what else? Comma. Let me give it price, comma. Then let's give it quantity. Okay, quantity. Then quantity. So I'm going to close my curly brackets, then put a comma, hit enter. To open another curly bracket, now open 2 curly brackets. So here I'm going to have it this way. So let's just add the IDs. Let me give it 1 comma for other ID. So 1 is under other ID, comma. For customer ID, let me just give it C001. Then for product ID, I'm just showing us how we can create P001. Then what else? Comma. So this is for 1 for other ID, C001 for customer ID, P001 for product ID. For category, let's give it gadget. Then price. Let me just put for price. So when you are working with text, put your text inside of double quotation marks. If you're dealing with numbers, just type in the number directly. You don't have to wrap them inside double quotation marks. Simple. So for quantity, let's give it 2. So I'm going to close that curly bracket, close it now, then put comma. But let me just copy this. I don't want to start typing in again so that I won't waste time. Ctrl C. I'll copy the same thing, then paste it all over. For the rest, let's do like 5 rows. I think we have 5 rows now, so good. For the last one, just remove the comma for the last one. I don't need the comma for the last one. Remove this, then close my parentheses. So can you see it's showing no error? So I think no error has been detected. So let's assume I just add something here now. Let's see something. You can see token literal error. This is an error, right? There's an error. Let's see something. Or if maybe I didn't remove the last comma, I still have my last comma. You can see cannot precede this. You can say show error. It means there's an error. So anytime you see that it's showing no syntax error have been detected, it means that your code is free of error and you can just go ahead and run it. So you're saying create a table with these column headers. Once you are done creating the tables, insert all these inside each of the columns. Then return the table that you just created, the source. You declared it, to return it. Then I'm just going to hit on done. Then can you see we have this? You can now start changing your data type. Change your data type to anything you want to change it to be, number, whole number. Change this from customer ID to text. Just start transforming it the way you want to. You can also use that same M code to add to specify the data type of those columns you created. You can also do that. I just showed us how we can. Although I don't make use of mQuery all the time. I only use it when I want to create a dimension table for date. So anytime I want to create a dimension table for date, I use the M code to do that. So I'll be showing us how to do that now. Remember I told us in our last video that the way I showed us how to create this dimension calendar is not the right way to do it. I just showed us how to. So the right way to do this, maybe someone is wondering, oh, why are we creating a dimension table for calendar? Why not just leave the date in the order fact table? Well, we have reasons why we should have date dimension tables. And number one is that with date dimension tables, your dates can be grouped automatically to sum everything for each of the months, the quarter, or the year, instead of you manually trying to find or trying to track events that happens on different dates. But with date dimension table, you can easily summarize or sum up details about the months, quarter, year, days, or weeks instead. Number two importance of data dimension table is that with data dimension table, you get extra details about your data. You get to know whether it is weekend, that date is weekend. You get to know whether it's an holiday or what quarter of the year that date falls in. So with data dimension table, it gives you extra details about your date data. Then another importance of date dimension table is that with date dimension table, you can everybody can work with it. It's like a reliable calendar. Everybody can work with it. So if someone is viewing a sales data, you can still connect to the dimension table, and someone looking at the delivery data can still connect to that dimension table for calendar. You can all work with that dimension table for calendar. Then another importance of your date dimension table again is that with your date dimension table, you can generate reports very, very, very fast. I mean, accurate results. So you don't need to start, because it has all the information about your data, so you don't need to start trying to do things manually. Automatically it helps you generate your report faster, and you can get information from it. Also, with date dimension table, you can easily handle some missing data. So assume maybe in your data there are some days that maybe transactions did not go on, customers did not purchase. With date dimension table, it will still show those data. Those dates will still show up, so that way you can know that okay, nothing happened on these days. That is for you. Importance of your date dimension table. One last importance of your date dimension table is that it can work with different format of your date. So maybe Mr. A is working with the format month, year, date. Mr. B is going to can work with the format day, month, year. So you can work with different date formats. These are the importance of your date dimension tables. All right, so let's look at how I'm going to use the query. Let me just name this one I just created. Now I'm going to name it let me just name it new table. I'll just give it new table. I don't need it, but I'll give it new table. So I want to create a new dimension table for dates using M code. So using the same process, go back, create a blank. I'm going to create a blank query. Then I'll hit my advanced editor. So source. The source is, I want to create, so you can change your source. Instead of source, you can change it to something else. I don't want it to be source. I'm going to give it start date. So I'm going to give it start date. I'll say start date. Means you can change your source to something else. Start date. And what is the start date? I'll say date from. Now, before I put date from, let's say in between here, I want to just put in 20. Let's give it one. First. Before we do that, don't let us be too fast. Go back to dim for calendar. Let's check the start date and when it ends. So I'm going to click on this, and you can see 2023. Then scroll down. Everything is just 2023. From I think it's showing month date. So it's showing in monthly format. It's showing month the 10th of January 2023 down to 15th of December. 10th of January to so I'll just say I want all the dates from January 1st, 2023 to 12th of 31st of December 2023. Let's just go back now and work on the query. Come here to this advanced editor, and I would come here and type in 1/1/2023. Now this is just a text. Don't forget that anytime you wrap any word in double quotation mark, it's that thing you are wrapping in is the text. So I'm saying, okay, let's use the function called date.from. Date.from. You can see what date.from would do. Let me open parentheses, then close this. What date.from would do is you're telling this, saying that with this function, extract the date in this text, because this is currently in the text format. Extract the date in it. Okay, comma. Now go down. Now this is not source. Now I think that's changed. This is not source. So start date. I'm declaring a start date. Start date. So the next thing I want to declare is end date. I want to declare end date. So I'll say end date. End date equals what? So using that same function, date.from. So I have date.from. Open my parentheses. Put in my double quotation marks. Then what do I want to do? 12/31/2023. So I'm doing it. It's going to be in month, year, month, day, and year. Okay, comma. And the next thing I want to get all the full date. Full date equals. So I'm using a function called list date. List.date. So what will this list.date do? Now the list.date is going to help you list out all the date from the start date to the end date. All the dates between the start date and end date is the list.date, is what this list.date will help you do. So the first argument is the start as date. So it means the start date. So I'll just type in start. You can see it here, start date. Double click on it, then comma. Then the next argument is count as. So you're going to say the number of, you want to count as numbers the dates from start date to end date. So I'm going to just use the function called number.from, open my parentheses and say end date. I'll start with end date first. End date minus numbers. I'll show you what I'm trying to do. Number from, I'm going to explain the query now once I'm done. Open parenthesis, number from start date. So I just put +1. So now let me explain what I just did here. So +1. I'm going to explain what I did here before we move to the last argument. So you're saying for the first argument, our start date is our first argument. For the number from, you're saying extract number. For date from, you're saying extract date from this. But for number from, you're saying extract number from this end date. Instead of counting it as date, count it as number. Once you are done, same thing, extract number from this start date. Then once you are done extracting the number, remove the start date from the end date. So once you get the value, because the argument is count as, that's the argument. Then +1 is just to be on the safer side, so I will not miss out of any of the dates. That's for +1. Then comma. The next argument now is this step as duration. So step as duration is what is going to be the step between the first date and the date that will be coming after it, right? So I'm going to use hash duration. I'll just type in hash duration, open my parentheses, and I'll say 1,0,0,0. So what does this mean? It means that my step value is going to be 1 day interval, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, just 1 day interval. So that's that. Then I think I'm done. Yes. So instead of this in is trying to say, okay, what should it return? So instead of source, I'm going to say return full date. So can you see now that it's showing no syntax error has been detected? Like it's error free. I can go on and hit OK. Just hit OK. So you can see here that it has populated date from January 1st down to December 2023. You keep scrolling down. So currently is a list, so we have to change it to table. So just come here and see this contextual tab is here now. Open. Just come here and hit to table. So convert to table. Then it converts it. It's converted to table. So currently, do we want any delimiter? No. Show how to undo extra column. Okay. So can you see we have this currently showing just column. I can now rename this to give me date. I'll rename to give me date. Enter. Then I would change it from this to date, and it gives me date. So now I can start, adding columns, adding other columns. So come to add columns here in from date and time. So I want to add year. I'll add year. Always make sure to come back to select this. I want to add month. I'll add month. The month will only generate the month number, where 1 represents January and down to 12 that represents December. Come here again. I want to generate a month name. So I'll do this. Same thing. I want to generate. So if you want to generate as many as possible, quarter of the year, you just always make sure to come and select this column for date. I want to generate the start of the week, So I'll just leave it this way. Can you see? So let me just name this now from dim calendar. I'll name this to rolling calendar. I'll name this rolling calendar. Very good. Rolling calendar. Then I'll save it. Just go back home. Then I'll close and load it in. So let's go back to Power Pivot, and we'll remove this we'll remove this dim calendar, would remove the relationship, so delete it. Are you sure that's how to delete relationship for model? So delete. So I'm going to import that data into this data now, into Power Pivot here, to create a relationship. Finish. Now don't forget, I said before you can do that, you have to close it, else it will not work. But let's see. Go back, browse. What I want to bring in is just this data modeling data. Open. Then I'm going to use first column as headers. Next, you will get this error because it's still open here on my Excel tab. So I'll just come back here. I'm here. Hold on. Ctrl S to save, and I'll close it. So close. I can now go back to the hit next. So scroll down, you can see rolling calendar here. So check rolling calendar, hit finish. So successful. Close. You should find your rolling calendar somewhere. Say this is it here. You have rolling calendar now. Then I would bring this here. I can just delete that one if I do, since I don't want it. I can just delete it. So I would drag this, then order it. Can you see? Now let's go back and just remove this dim calendar from the table. We don't want it. So dim calendar here. All I have to do is just right click. Then I would say delete. Are you sure you want to manually delete this table? Yes, delete it. And that is the end of that. Very easy, right? Not something that is hard. Very, very, very simple. All you have to do is just practice and understand this concept. Just read up on them too. But if you have questions, you can always reach out, send in your questions in the comment sections, and we'll treat that together. Alright, so we are good. That is all on M-Code. You can see read up more on M-Code and how you can use it. I don't usually use it all the time. I only use it when I want to create dimension table for calendars. Okay. Alright, so we'll meet in our next video. Thank you for watching this. Do well to practice as usual. Like and share. If you're just meeting this or visiting my page for the first time, hit that subscribe button. I'll appreciate that. Bye.